My scripture is Deuteronomy 31, verse 8. The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid and do not be discouraged. The title of this speech, or whatever, was How to Begin a Happy Marriage, or subtitled, Live 4,348 miles away from all family and friends. We really learned this to depend on each other. We really learned to depend on God. But let's start at the beginning. My husband and I met through friends on May 9th, 1973. We married August 31st, 1974. Now, I grew up in Columbus and attended North Broadway Church. I was in the choir and Girl Scouts and Sunday school, Vacation Bible School, NYF. But there was this one club called Friendship Club, and it was there that through the youth director that I met Jesus and found out what it was like to live my life with him right beside me. Now, I went to beauty school and became a hairdresser. God had a plan. My husband grew up in Baraboo, Wisconsin, and he joined the Air Force right after high school. He was stationed at Rickenbacker Air Force Base, and that is how he came to Ohio. God had a plan. We met May 9th, 1973. We became engaged in 1974. And orders for Berlin, Germany came. God had a plan. We didn't tell anybody about those orders before our wedding. Didn't want my mom and dad to have that overshadow our trip. We went, but when we came home from our honeymoon, we dropped in the announcement that we were leaving for Berlin, Germany on February 9th, 1975. God had a plan. At that time, West Berlin had a wall completely built around it. It was a little island of freedom in a sea of communism. We lived there for 4 years in the southern sector of Germany. Now, that is where my faith truly began to grow. I joined a women's Bible study that was started by the Baptist Church, and those women became very close friends of mine. Their witness to me was a witness that helped me to understand what it was to let go and let God. Now, while in Europe, Dick and I visited Paris on our first anniversary, and we saw the Mona Lisa in the Louvre. We went to London and signed the Queen's Guest Book. Went to Switzerland and walked around in snow at 70 degrees. We went to Holland and saw fields of tulips and the Harz Mountains. And this is where I'm going to put the glasses on. All the while, God's hand was on us every step of the way. One incident really, truly woke me up about this situation. Richard and I had a disagreement, nice way to put it, fight. And I stormed out of the apartment, and I walked down all the way to the basement, and I sat on the steps, and I got up and I walked around some more, and then I went back to our apartment. All that while walking around and looking and thinking, God, what is going on? Prince Charming was sitting in our apartment waiting for me There was no way for me to call home. There was no way for me to get in a car and drive back to Columbus because there's an ocean in between here and there. We had no car. We drove in, or we rode in buses, the underground, and the railroad. For us to leave where we lived, we had to have special orders and ride a train out of West Berlin and into Frankfurt, Germany. We stopped at checkpoint, and they had to look at all of our flag orders, so they were called, so that they could prove that we were who we said we were before we could go any farther into the free world. God was right there. After that argument, I walked back upstairs. Communication and our life together was a plan. He watched over us every second of every day. My faith grew stronger. Our marriage grew stronger because the Lord went before us, was with us, never left us, and when fear raises its very ugly head, I look at him and know that he is right there with us and that he has a plan. I too, after listening to all these speeches, went on a Emmaus walk. And it was through that Emmaus walk that I met Mandy Carter. Some of you remember. And we came to this church, raised our 3 kids from teenagers. And we're so glad to be members here. And God had a plan.